Welcome to the webinar with overview of 20 updates in BookWidgets for the back to school time of 2025. If you are new to BookWidgets, BookWidgets is a content creation and student learning evaluation platform for teachers. We help you support your students' learning process from beginning to end with widget and question templates, LMS integration, monitoring student progress, and a reporting dashboard that helps you review student work in the most efficient way possible so that you can spend less time on grading and more time on personalized student feedback. If you are also interested, we are accredited by ISTE. We have the ISTE seal. So lets you know how we align with the ISTE standards. And if you're looking for some additional information about special pricing for groups and schools, feel free to check that out. You will receive this slide deck in an email, and all of it will be clickable. So my name is Kate Baker. I am the head of community engagement here at BookWidgets, and I'm also a longtime veteran educator. And I'm excited to show you all the things we're going to be doing today. So we've got quite a number of updates. We have updates in widgets specifically. We have updates in the reporting dashboard and updates in account settings. Our team has been hard at work using your feedback to improve BookWidgets and to make your jobs easier. So some updates in the widgets. We have some small and larger adjustments, things that relate to the options and various question types. We also have some updates that'll impact all widgets and updates in very specific areas. So our first update is really, really exciting. This is a brand new question type. It is picture, count, drag, and drop. So you can have students drop images multiple times in specific areas on a background image. So here in this example, we have fruit baskets, and students are directed to drag and drop the items into each basket and that it will count them up for them. If you are really curious about how to set up this widget, definitely click on it. And then you'll see in the upper corner, we have make a copy in my account. This is where you'll be able to make an editable version in your account, but also be able to see how did we do that? How did we configure this particular widget? So let me pop over into this example. We have within this one, I have also some additional questions that we've asked. Actually, let me go back. Pulled up the wrong one. This one. Okay. So within this example, we have a number of different ways that you could use this particular question type. So you saw for grocery shopping, dragging and dropping the right amount of fruits into the basket. And you can see as I do this, we have the drop zones that are appearing. And I'm also getting some live feedback that, yes, I'm correct in what I'm dropping to. And if I drop it here, you'll see I lose that checkbox, that green, which lets me know, uh-oh, I didn't do the right thing. Yeah. So you can set this up so that your students are getting feedback in the moment as they're practicing the drag and drop. And then they can grab their items. And then you'll see as I add more strawberries, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and I got one extra apple. Let me put that back. See, very easy to drag and drop these accordingly. Some other ideas for how you could do this in math class. You can teach students about currencies. So using different amounts of money, you can have them drag and drop the amounts. And if they are like, wait, that image was really small, they can click into it and see it. But just click and hold, drag and drop it down. Another example, biology. And I love this one because you can also add audio to the different images that you're dragging and dropping. So if you're like, what is this blob?
Vacuole, nucleus, chloroplast.
You can support your learners with some audio with this. And again, being able to drag and drop it down. Another example here we have in the instructions, we have an audio piece. So this is using the rich text in the audio, rich text in the question.
Drag and drop the right amount of colored candy balls into the correct candy jar.
So the students can listen to the instructions and then again, drag and drop them accordingly. Another idea is thinking about also with languages like compound words or, root words and end words. So like when we think about, let's see, this is a
School.
school house. You can, again, tap into their language skills with this. You can get really creative. And then also you can have them set up so that you can show answers at the end. So what does this look like in the editor? How did we do this? Well, first off, you're going to go into the example. Here we have question 1. You can see where the audio has been added into the question. We have the rich text here of what is the question, and then we have our images that will be dragged and dropped. So you start with the individual images that are going to drag and drop down. Then you go to the image, the groups of images that you're going to add in. How many apples, pears, strawberries do you want? And when you add an image group, you can add images, see how it pops up, and then you can select which images you want, add selected, and then also you can see how you can change the number of what you want the count to be. Okay. And then let me go back. I'm going to delete this group because we don't need it. Down here, when you scroll down, you're going to go to background. And this is where you're going to put your background picture for the target area. So where are they dropping these onto? You need a background image. Now, if you notice in this one, we have 3 different baskets. What I recommend doing is using a tool like Adobe Express or Canva or even Google Slides and saving a slide as an image. Create your image with the container, and then you can drop them in. Another idea, don't update. Now I'll show you this one. Another idea for creating multiple areas to drop down to is to use a image that has sections to it. So here I've done a bookshelf, bookcase. And what I did is I found this image online through our Pixabay integration. And then in my question, I'm directing students to sort the library books onto a particular shelf. So I even have it set up vertically so that here they are dropping books onto the top shelf and then books onto the bottom shelf. So whether you're creating your own image or finding an image that has sections in it, you can use either option to create those multiple drop-down zones. Okay. This one's a lot of fun and you're going to be really creative with this one. So it doesn't just have to be for primary education. It can be, for your older students as well. Okay, so make sure you play around with that one. We also have a bonus blog post where Lucy has shared so many useful examples. So let me just go take a look at this one for you real quick. So this blog post has um, examples that she has created, and she's got them divided up into different subject areas: language, math, science, music, and arts. And then she does a fantastic job of explaining, providing these examples that you again can copy, but then also giving you some pro tips how to make the images even better for the drag and drop. So definitely check out that blog post. Okay, so that's this new question type. Lots of fun to play with. Another update, this is in for our question types. This is for the rubric question. So within the rubric, there are two things going on here. You can disable the ability for students to do self-evaluation. So if you just want this rubric attached, it's in the assignment, in the widget activity, but you don't want students to click on it, then you can uncheck this box down here at the bottom, allow self-evaluation. Then, when you're in the reporting dashboard, whether they're doing self-evaluation or not, you can give them targeted feedback per each criteria. So per each row within the rubric, next to each box, you can do targeted feedback for that area. So if I want to give them feedback, for example, on content knowledge, just click on that that little icon there. It'll open up where you can give that feedback. And then just as you can still do kind of a broader comment for the entire rubric, as well as audio feedback too, if you're doing LMS integration. Ooh, audio feedback. That's another one coming. So this, again, will just help to provide students with an understanding of, where exactly are they strong or weak within the rubric. Something coming soon. So I can't give you a sneak peek of this yet, but something coming awesome is going to be a new structure options for your quiz and split worksheet. So within the quiz, you're going to be able to add multiple questions to a single quiz page. So you know how we have the video quiz widget where you can stop the video at a certain point and have one or multiple questions at that question point? You're going to be able to do that in a quiz without needing a video to attach it to. So that's coming soon, to be able to do multiple quiz pages with like blocks of questions together. And then the other option that's coming is being able to add multimedia source material to specific questions. So whereas in the split worksheet, you have one side that is the text that has PDF or rich text or embedded web page, you're going to be able to do multiple pieces of resources to them. And that'll be tied to specific questions on the question side. So coming soon. Very excited for this one. Also, something that is coming soon is exam links. These are for sharing when you're doing exams and you need to share a widget in a secure environment, like you're using BookWidgets for your final exam for your class. And let's say you have proctors who are doing the examinations. So you will be able to use the exam link. You can place this link in a lockdown browser of your choice. So you can use this method of sharing if you don't want to use Safe Exam Browser, but you are using some other tools like Classroom Cloud. So when this comes, what you'll be able to do is click on Share. And just as we have, the usual ways that we can share our widget activities with students, you're going to see a new addition that says Exam Link. And then you will still have it tied to a learning management system. So this is important. The exam links won't work unless you're using BookWidgets through an LMS, because what it's going to make sure happens is that you still have all that student information of like their name, their email address will be tied to that LMS account. And then you can also set up a link expiration, like when will this link be not be able to be used? When will it expire? So that you can, again, have some test integrity when you're doing exams. So that's also coming soon. If you are interested in being a beta tester for any of these coming soon features, feel free to reach out to us at support@bookwidgets.com and in the subject line, say beta tester and make a request to test these features. Something else that's also been released this year is cut and paste restrictions. So copy paste restrictions. So in the general tab, you'll go to copy paste, and then you'll see this checkbox for using the private clipboard. So this will prevent students from being able to copy paste or being able to only copy paste within the widget. Now, you do have to understand there is a little bit of a caveat here is that it does not block copy pasting text from like the predictive text bar on Android devices. So if they're doing something mobile, it won't block that. So this is another one that if you need to prevent students from copy pasting, you can do that. Being able to move questions. So instead of dragging questions through a long list, which, you just click on that little icon at the end of the row to be able to grab and move them up and down. If you would like to have a faster way to move questions without having to do that lots of scrolling, you can select the question or questions you want to move, then click on the arrow next to the question above or below where you want to place the selected questions, and then you just select move the questions before this question or move selected questions after this question. So again, makes things a little bit easier when you're working with a lot of questions. Here is an update for LaTeX. So for you math and science folks, our text-to-speech option now also correctly reads LaTeX expressions. In addition, we have a new LaTeX editor that makes it much easier for teachers to add those mathematical symbols in BookWidgets. So you can click on the editor and then be able to click on Insert Equations to add more symbols. So in the rich text editor, Insert, select Equations, you'll see this box pop up, and then you can select which ones you need to do. You can also, in answers, still use the double dollar sign. So if you type $2, then click on the box, and then the window with the symbols will appear. We also have a video tutorial that'll walk you through those steps if you need it. Yes, move questions should already be available. Also, some additional updates in our rich text editor is you can adjust the line height / spacing of your text by switching to rich text and then clicking on this icon and selecting from the choices there, and that'll space out your text accordingly. Another update is reward images in the game widgets. So you can already do a reward word where you say congratulations or another piece of text. You can already upload audio for them saying the words congratulations or whatever you need to say. And then now we've given the option to have a reward image. So you can add the image and then access the menu with the 3 dots to edit the image, choose an image, import from Google Drive, find one online, clear it, or even paste from clipboard. So that's a fun little way to, again, bring a little bit of delight to your game widgets. Also, specifically for the crossword widget, we have a you can now have rewards for the crossword. So you can do the reward word, audio, or image are now also available. This is a big update for the planner. So the planner widget, we have a much easier configuration for adding tasks to your planner. So you're going to add your predefined tasks. Then when you go in the initial task list under the general tab, when you do add initial tasks, it'll pop up with this wonderful dialog box that will let you select which tasks you want to add in. So let me go slide over to my account and pull up a planner so you can see this. So in the planner, you're in general. It brings you to general first. And then what you'll do is you'll go to predefined tasks. You'll go to add a predefined task. Same thing as before. I can say counting task 7. I want to give it a different color. I can. Add an image, audio, same as before. I love selecting a widget. And then filtering and finding widgets in our BookWidgets blog group. I'm going to do this one. Yep, it's there. Okay. Now I'm going to go to General. My initial task list, I have only 3 items listed on my initial task. Now I'm going to do Add Initial Task. And I can go 4, 5, 6, 7. Add them and boom. Nice, there they are. Oh, but wait, I see my things are a little out of order. I can grab them and I can move them. And now I can reorder those tasks. So if I say task 1's down here at the bottom, you'll see, well, there it is. I'm just going to grab it and drag it around to the order that I want it to be in. So, which is nice. All right. So that's a great update. And then as before, you'll see here's how the planner will look if I have these all as tasks I need my students to do. And if I want to make it a choice board, I can just remove them from the initial task list. So, I can delete them one at a time, or I can go 1, 2, 3. Delete. Okay, now when I go to preview in the planner, first 2 tasks are there. My students could then click on the plus icon in the corner, and then now they could select practice whatever ones I want them to do. Yep. So it just makes it super easy now to add those predefined tasks to your initial task list. All right, so let's take a look at some updates in the corrections dashboard, in our reporting dashboard. So when we are in the reporting dashboard, we got a webinar for you to check out. But some things to point out are correction labels. So using correction labels to highlight words or sentences in your students' answers be really powerful, and especially to color code what you're highlighting. And so your correction labels will be remembered once you set them up once. They will be remembered across your widgets. So you can set up correction labels, for your subject area. Here we have, kind of things that are more ELA related, English language arts, spelling, grammar, word choice. And then as we're reviewing students' work, highlighting, and then selecting which label we want to appear. Now, what's great about this is that at the top of the student's submission, they will see a kind of an overview of like how many different labels were identified in their assignment. So they might say, 5 verb tense, 3 spelling, and it will give them that feedback. So this will also help you as a teacher just to be able to mark their work more quickly and to be able to give them feedback. We have a video tutorial and a blog post about both of those to help you with setting them up. And again, it's totally up to you how you want to configure these correction labels. You get to pick your colors, you get to pick your words, you even get to pick your code as to what it will look like. And you could use emojis also in addition to letters. Audio feedback is an awesome one that we have added. So being able to record your feedback using that record button so that you can, give your students some verbal feedback so they can hear your voice and understand the tone. Now, something that you need to be aware of though is that this will only work with an LMS. You must have that learning management system integration. With that integration, it'll make sure that everything works seamlessly. Also, with feedback, you can plan to send back the feedback. You can schedule when to return their work and when you want to reclaim their work. So let's say you want to give students the ability to understand, what they've done right or wrong throughout a variety of formative assessments. But then right before the test, you don't want them to have access to these widgets on the day of your test or exam. Well, then you can schedule, if you know that your exam's going to be Friday, you could schedule that reclaim. So that they're not able to see their answers and navigate them on that particular test day. You can. So what you'll do is you'll go to your submissions, click on the 3 dots, select return work, and then you'll see the dialog box appear for scheduling the return and the reclaiming of their work. Within the reporting dashboard, you can also copy paste long answers now. So when your students are doing a long answer question type paragraph, so you'll be able to copy it. You'll see this little clipboard icon that appears here. So you can copy it. And then this is really helpful if you need to paste it into other tools like Grammarly or Plagiarism Checker, or just, if you're trying to capture sample student responses, exemplary answers that you want to share with your class or colleagues. So being able to copy paste with one click is pretty nice. Another update in the reporting dashboard is for providing feedback on images. You now can select your pen color. I know I get really excited about this as an English teacher who would mark up my students' papers by hand. I loved using color coding, various different colored pens to annotate their work. So now when you're doing a image and you want to provide feedback, you're going to click on the pen icon, and then you'll also see this kind of drop looking icon. When you click on that, it will open up this color dialog box where you can paste in a hex code, or you can, move the circles around on the canvas to find the color that you want. And then you can annotate the image. And you can still add in comments, mark up their images accordingly. So this is great for doing comments on student submissions for the photo question, the whiteboard question, or on any rough draft answer in the scratch pad. And not only can you pick your pen color, you can also pick the thickness of the pen, of the lines. So That's a fun one. Also for the reporting dashboard, we have the ability to export the questions and results via CSV. So this is useful if you need to document your students' work throughout the year. You need to submit it to your supervisors, your administrators, and having some sort of record. You'll go to the assignment. You'll click on the three-dot menu, download results as an Excel file or CSV, and then you can also add scores from individual questions so that you can, determine what information do you want in your CSV file. So in this dialog box, we get the title, the name, student ID, class, date, score. You need some decimals, and then providing individual scores for individual questions, as well as including the questions so you know what the information was with these scores. So being able to download it, super easy, so you have that information. Some additional updates in your BookWidgets accounts. These are some things that are just going to make it a little bit easier for signing in. We've got some small and large adjustments for this. Definitely check out the webinar for organizing your BookWidgets account. So as you're, moving from one school year to the next, we've got some tips and tricks for that. And then also for collaborating with your colleagues in BookWidget groups, we have a webinar on that that I also recommend that you check out. And these are ready to stream webinars. You won't have to register for them. You can watch them as you need them. So the first one is seeing recent widgets on your home screen. So when you go to your home tab, you'll see My Widgets, and then underneath it now you'll see recent widgets that you've been working on, and then you can quickly click on it and navigate to that particular widget. Some other updates in the Create tab. When you're in your My Widgets, you'll see groups and this button now where you can quickly just click on the button and be able to create a new group very fast. You can also still go to the Collaborate tab and create a new group, and you will also see any pending group invitations. So if you've invited a colleague to a group, or you've been invited by a colleague to a group, you'll see that invitation here where you can join or reject the invitation. The other thing you'll see is in your home tab is under the What's Happening tile, you'll also see a link for joining that particular group too. So, and then when you go to share a group or invite colleagues, it's all now done in one pop-up, similar to Google Drive. All right, and you may have noticed this one already. So now we are doing some pass key login. So to make sure that your BookWidgets account stays secure and easy to access, when you go to sign in, you'll put in your email, and then you'll get an email with a sign in code. You'll get that immediately. It is instantaneous pretty much when you plug in your email and give you the code, and then you have 4 minutes to be able to enter that code to log into your account. So it happens very quickly, which is great. And again, make sure that you're nice and secure. Now, if you're signing up for BookWidgets for the first time, or if you're encouraging your colleagues to sign up for the first time, you'll see this updated dialog box, being able to enter in an email, agree with the terms, sign up for our newsletter, check that you're not a robot and sign up. And then it'll ask if you want to create a pass key or choose a password also to be able to get into your account. If you're still doing single sign-on, let's say with Google, Microsoft, or Smart School, that will still work without any need for codes. You just click on sign in with your, whichever button you're using, and it'll happen instantaneously. And once again, students never log into BookWidgets. Only teachers log into BookWidgets. So your students are just doing your widget activities that you share, but that information is then in your BookWidgets account. So it's just you, the teacher, logging in. So that was our 20 updates for this new school year. Another sneak peek for what's coming soon. We have some AI integration. So some of you might be helping us out with beta testing our AI prototype that we have. Right now, the prototype is focused on content creation, so helping you add content to your widget activities, but we're also researching and testing how to thoughtfully use AI with helping you give feedback. So it's not going to create a widget from scratch, nor is it going to grade all your students' responses for you without any feedback from you. We're still keeping you, the teacher, in the driver's seat, but trying to use AI to make your jobs more efficient, easier, quicker, etc. So if you're interested in AI integration, definitely give us an email and you can become one of our testers, beta testers. Also, some additional things coming soon. We have an archive for educational integration. So this is going to be the archive for education provides videos that you'll be able to use within BookWidgets. So that's coming soon. We also have a Questy integration coming soon. So that's another option. And again, if you're interested in beta testing any of these things, feel free to send us an email, support@bookwidgets.com, to ask to be a beta tester. Some additional handy links and resources. So we got, again, I keep mentioning that, support@bookwidgets.com. We love hearing from you guys. We have our webinars. So the webinar page, we've got some upcoming webinars. We offer them in Dutch, French, German, and Spanish. So if you don't want to just do English, feel free to navigate to any one of these pages. And then you'll see coming up in October, we have Teaching Math with BookWidgets. We're also going to do picture and video widgets in November. And in December, jazzing up your widgets, everything on design. So be sure to register for these upcoming ones. And then we have a whole slew of ready to stream recorded webinars. So if you need some more information about getting started with BookWidgets, creating your first widget, or just getting some additional tips and tricks, we have plenty of videos for BookWidgets for beginners and tied to specific learning management systems. But then if you're like, I got this, I already know BookWidgets. Well, you want to dive into some pedagogy and teaching strategies. We've got those for you. You know, how to flip the classroom, universal design for learning, and then even more. So if you want to learn more about specific widget types, boosting efficiency, specific courses and subject areas. If you're ready for some app smashing, we got some of those. And then again, just some updates also. So any of these you can watch right away. You don't have to be registering ahead of time for them. Also, another resource is our tutorials and the knowledge base for our frequently asked questions. And then that BookWidgets blog is fabulous for giving you ideas, tips, and tricks for how to use BookWidgets in so many different ways. And then if you're not already a member of the BookWidgets blog group, absolutely go find that when you go to groups and discover and join the BookWidgets blog group so you can access all of the widgets we create for every single blog post. So I am so glad you joined me today. I greatly appreciate your time here. We're going to switch over to Q&A. So thanks again for joining me today.